Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Katie Stazak. A very happy Easter out there. Passover, whatever you celebrate, but it is Easter Sunday. We got a 9-race card on tap. Another beautiful day in South Florida. It's getting boring in these beautiful days. Not really, but we like to tease the people up north just a little bit. And we have a fast main track, a firm turf course. Boy, do we have a great guarantee. It's not even a guarantee. It's in the pool. The carryover, it's $532,000. That's in the Rainbow Six. Races 4 through 9 today. We have a 9-race card, so remember that it starts in race number 4, 20-cent wager. We also got a carryover in the Super High Five, which is in race 9 today, $8,600 plus. So it should be a fun day of racing. We've got a couple of really nice races today. Katie, happy Easter.
Happy Easter, Ron. The Easter Bunny was really good to us here at Gulfstream with those kind of carryovers today.
It's interesting to see how it's going to play out. I mean, we're going to be zeroing in on that in race 4, and maybe they'll bring it down today. You know, a little Easter luck. You know what I mean? Is there any? Got to look to see if there's any horses with the name Bunny in it. Maybe that's one that you throw into the Rainbow Six.
Or maybe you look for a rabbit.
There you go, rabbit. So, not the rabbit that's going to be out front setting the pace, but a rabbit. So let's take a look at today's card. But before we do, I want to go back and show you our stake race from yesterday. It was the Orange Blossom Stakes. And a horse that we knew was going to have a lot of speed was in front, but let's show it to you. We'll talk about it right now.
What a nice field we had in this race, first of all. A great race here, and our free roll. She's a speedster. She says, come and catch me every time. You know that's her game. There's no questions. And she was making her second start off a bit of a layoff, and she was definitely fitter today. Was able to stay the distance and scores a nice win in the Orange Blossom on the front end. But I have to say, what a run from little Alexis, making her first start since the Breeders' Cup in November. That was not her ideal distance. That was a little short for her, and she came from way back, and she was gaining with every stride. I'm looking forward to seeing what she does in her next start. Yeah,
she'll be moving way forward off that performance. And, you know, Carlo Vaccarezza saying, you know, that this is wanted to see where he stood with her and try and get it back to the Breeders' Cup again. And I think that was a positive step forward. So really fun race yesterday. And our free roll is one fast filly. So a great performance all around by everybody in the race. Now let's get to the Easter Sunday card. Our first race, 1 mile claimers. 4-year-olds and up, $6,250. Scratch of number 4, Shining Powers, my top selection here. So I scratched into the number 2, Wild Conceits. But I know you had Ravello's Boy on top all along.
I did, but you know what? With the scratch of Shining Powers, I think that's going to help Wild Conceits a bit because there won't be as much speed. But I really like Ravello's Boy. He's going to be making his first start off the claim for trainer Paul Copage, who is 38%, a small sample, but 3 of 8 first start off the claim. This one's coming off a nice 2¼ length win at this level on March 25th. What I really liked about the race was the way that he did it. He was bumped, shuffled back at the start, got caught 7 wide around the turn, and was still able to get a win, going 5½ furlongs. That is not easy to do, to overcome a trip like that at such a short distance. Stretching out today, but he has won at this distance before, so that really doesn't concern me all that much. He's going to be making one run at the end anyway.
Yeah, and the trainer Paul Copage, 38% with new claims. Yes. Number 2, Wild Conceits. Let me tell you about this one. Turning back to a 1-turn mile today after drawing away. That was at 1 mile and 16th. That's around 2 turns to crush this caliber of competition by 7+ lengths. And if you look at this colt, when you go down his past performances, 2 previous races at the $6,250 level, which this is today, he's won them by a combined 19¼ lengths. So looks like he's at his top level here. You mentioned the scratch of Shining Powers in there. May help number 2, Wild Conceits today. The other horse that I added to my ticket, did not have on originally, is the morning line favorite. And this one, Defense Article, comes with a little bit of a red flag for me. The move to the Jose Sanchez barn via the $12,500 claim. Drops right down to this level today. Showed speed last time out, was 70 cents to the dollar, and backed up.
completely agree. I did the same exact thing. Didn't have him on there originally, but put him on with the scratch.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, you know, he's one you got to look at and watch the board. He's currently up there at 6-1, and the current favorite really early, as well as a couple up there at 2-1, the 5, and the number 8 horse. Second race today is a 5 furlong turf event. Its claim is fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. $16,000. We'll have 7 runners going to the post. We both have the one Sunrise Kitty on top of our ticket, and we want to go back and show you race 9 from January 22nd. Race by Sunrise Kitty.
Yeah, this is largely the reason why I put Sunrise Kitty at the top of my ticket. Did not have an ideal trip in this race. Had to angle out a little bit off the rail and then angle back in on the rail and was able to close a lot of ground late. Angle going to back out here, just altering course throughout. You're going to see and going to run very, very well. Gets up for third and gaining really at the wire, only beating a half length, dropping down from the $20,000 level for this start, and she should logically improve second start off the layoff. That was her first start in a while.
Yeah, she was well meant third behind a horse called Free West, and then there was another horse in there. Then it was the next out winner called Akina. So this one, as you mentioned, dropping down. Jason Service, he's good with this freshening. We mentioned that race was on January 22nd. So he's, as I said, 20% with the 61 to 180-day freshening in there. I used the 7 in second, Enchanted Dreams, who you have on your ticket. We'll try open competition. Parlayed a 4-wide trip last time out into a 2.5 length victory at odds of 25 to 1 last time out. That was against $20,000 3 lifetime claimants. Sometimes that's a big jump up in competition going from condition claimant to open claimers.
Yes, but I think that's one that could be on the upswing for those reasons. I also had the 3 Trio of Mischief on my ticket. Didn't run her best race in her last start, but she turned around pretty quickly for that race. She came back just 16 days after being a little bit overmatched in allowance. I like the fact that her connections gave her a bit of a freshening after that, but 3 starts back, she won at this level and distance, and she hit the board in 3 straight starts prior to that, so I think that's more of an accurate reading of her form.
Yeah, I did not put her on the ticket. She's second choice on the morning line. I did go with the 5 Arika's Princess in there, and this one is turning back to 5/8 of a mile after returning from a 2-month freshening to set the pace. Fate to finish 4th, but it was against $20,000 claimers going 7.5 furlongs. Jose Pinchin is the trainer. He adds blinkers today, hoping to throttle down her keen early interest. Looked like she wanted to be up there. Maybe the blinkers will settle her down. So just a race there. It looks like the 1 is the one to beat, and as you see behind it, we're a little different in our selections. Let's go to the third race of the afternoon, and the third race today is going to be 7 furlongs. It's a starter, optional claimer. Fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, $12,500. 8 runners will be in the field, and we both have the number 8, Tex Appeal, and this one in the Marty Wolfson barn now.
Yeah, making first start off the claim for Marty Wolfson. Third on the grass in her last start, going a mile and a 16th at the $20,000 level. She gave up the lead at the top of the stretch and faded, but she's cutting back to 7 furlongs today. And she should get a nice trip in here and can make a bid from the outside, which I like. That's what's been working here lately over this racetrack. And I like that she's very adjustable. She can go to the front or sit just off the pace. 3 of her 4 lifetime wins have come right here over the Gulfstream Park main track.
Well, the horse that we both have on our ticket, you in third, me in second, is Rebecca's Surprise. That is number 5, 6 for 6 in the money at this distance. 6 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. Stretches out after drawing off to defeat $10,000 optional claimers, going 6.5 furlongs. The trainer was Kelly Breen. And this jockey, I know you did a little bit of research on him yesterday.
I did. I did. That was not Samansith. He's going to be here. He's a Canadian rider. Hasn't ridden a whole lot in the past couple of years, but he has ridden over 1,000 races.
Oh,
so
wow.
He knows what he's doing. He's just, you know, one that doesn't ride a whole lot, but he's coming in from Canada to ride Rebecca's Surprise, and a very nice mount for him.
Yeah, very nice mount. And anybody that's win 1,000 races, you shouldn't have to worry too much about. But did you use the number 6 horse in here, which I did not use, and that's Don't Call Me Charlie.
Yeah, I'm glad, because I really want to talk about this mare. This is a mare with a lot of back class. Second in the Claiming Crown Glass Slipper Stakes. Third in the Sunshine Millions Distaff Preview Stakes. lot of back class, and making her first start for trainer Rowan Cretan today, who's 22% in that category. Well beaten last time out, but they gave her a little bit of time after that. She's been beaten by a slew of Marty Wolfson trainees in her past few starts. Centrigue, who's great at stakes place, Best Behavior, who's a stakes winner, and Swingers Party, who's a stakes winner. And I think she might get beaten by another one today in Tex Appeal, but I think she can definitely run a race.
Yeah, I mean, Tex Appeal looks like the logical choice, but that's a very good angle in there. I also used it for turnout, trying 7 furlongs locally, shipping down for Tampa for Jamie Ness, so that's always a horse you have to look at. We mentioned at the top of the show that the Rainbow Six is going to start in race number 4, and race number 4 is 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. It's a starter optional claimer, fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward. And we want to go back and show you a rewind of a race of Amber Morning, who I know you liked a lot yesterday. Did not have it on my ticket, but with the scratches in here, I used this horse on my ticket now.
I had her on the ticket from the beginning. I have her in second, and that's because of this race. Check her out right here, nowhere to go, and having to steady a little bit, just kind of waiting while the horse is there in front of her. But watch what happens when she gets running room. She comes out of there like a rocket, and she actually gets up for the win. I was really impressed with that effort. And 2 starts back, she was third in allowance here, just behind a horse named Jester and Me, who would come back to win the horse that Ron and I both have on the top of our ticket, and that is Kazuna.
Kazuna, yeah, and also want to mention is 2 scratches in here of the 3, Bossy Gal, and a horse that I think I had on my ticket. I don't know if you did. That's Aaron on Point Day. Yeah. I had on my ticket, and that's who that horse that we just showed you, Amber Morning, beat by the nose last time out. But you know, Pete, our track announcer, Pete Aiello, will come back and update you on all the scratches and everything. Let's get to Kazuna, because I made this one my best bet of the afternoon, dropping to the $35,000 starter optional claimer, stretching out to 1 mile and 1/16. As you mentioned, rallied second last time out. That was against $60,000 optional claimers going a mile. A woman that's had a great meet is Jane Sabelli. She's had everything. And Angel Surfer, riding in great form. This is the daughter of Harrington. Shows a definite fondness for this turf course. Listen to this. 6 starts here, 2 wins, 3 seconds, and a third. So 6 for 6 in the money on the Gulfstream turf.
I can't argue with her being your best bet of the day. She's one that you might want to think about singling.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I did.
And you could do so early in the Rainbow Six.
Yeah, that's what I did. And then the 8 Big and Toasty, I moved to the Jason Service Barn, beat a claim. First start since recovering. She had a little trouble at the start last time out. She broke awkwardly. She defeated $20,000 2 lifetime claimers. She didn't have that much trouble at the start because we went back and tried and find a lot of trouble and we just didn't see it.
Yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal. Stumbled a little bit, but was still able to get fine positioning early. But I think the scratch of Era M Pointer actually helps her because there won't be as much speed in there. So.
Right. So in Amber Morning, I added, you know, when we talked about this yesterday, I knew as soon as I lost Everton Point, they added that horse right away from watching that video. So that's how that turned out. You saw our selections, as we mentioned. That is where the Rainbow Six, the 20-cent Rainbow Six, starts with over $500,000 in the pool. Race number 5, 5.5 furlongs, maiden claim is 3 and up, $12,500. Jockey change on number 11, Marcos Meneses. How do we say it?
Meneses.
Meneses. I got it right. Marco Meneses. So that's very good. He's a jockey. We don't know much about him. He came in today, and he's getting him out, and we'll see how he does on the number 11 horse in here. So I went with the number 5, Hand Pick. You went with the number 5, Hand Pick.
I did. He hasn't raced since last September. That's a little bit of a concern, coming back from a 6-month layoff, but he's shown the most in his 14-race career than any of the other horses in this race. Has finished second in his last 3 starts on both dirt and turf, on both hard and soft going. He's just due. It's concerning that he hasn't been able to get the job done, but no one else in this field really screamed at me that they wanted to get it done either. I love when Stanley Gold and Edgar Zayas team up, so I had to put him at the top of my ticket.
We got our second and third selections in here, flip-flop. I have the 7 Mighty Warrior in second. This one is hoping to save more for the stretch run this time out. Pressed the pace last time out, finished 4th at this same level and distance, and trainer Mike Petro, Jonathan Gonzalez in the saddle. Logical choice to be somewhere on there, especially if Handpicked might need a race and use the 6 creative quality, which I did too.
Yeah, finished second in his last starts of odds of more than 35 to 1 in his second start for trainer Manuel Carrasco. You won't get those kinds of odds today. But perhaps Carrasco has kind of gotten him on the right path now. He seems to also have improved cutting back to sprints from a mile.
Yeah, I think he figures logically in there. And as you mentioned, you're not going to get those double-digit odds in this race today. Race number 6 furlongs, claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 races in life, $6,250. This 6th race kicks off our final pick 4 of the afternoon. Scratch the number 10, Lover Gone Wild. And I see we are in total agreement in here. We both used the number 4, Fair Shake, on top.
And I thought this was a little bit of a sneaky pick, too. And, of course, we see things completely the same way. Fair Shake finished 3rd in her last start on March 20th. She had a clear lead early, but faded late going a mile. Think she's a sure bet cutting back to 6 furlongs today for trainer Ricky Griffith. Jose Caraballo will be in the irons. He won with our free roll yesterday, riding very, very well. And this, too, will be her 3rd start back off a 9-month layoff, so this may be the fittest we've seen her in quite a while.
You know, and Fair Shake, if you notice, all Ricky Griffith's horses over the last week or so have been taking tons of money. So it looks like the barn, you know, is ready to win before they head back up to Canada. Of course, he's perennially up there, upstate at Woodbine, in Canada at Woodbine. So just been watching the board. Every horse he's run's been being slammed, and they've run exceptionally well. He had one yesterday, just got beat. So pay attention to 4 Fair Shake. The second horse we used in there is Princess Belle On Call, now in the Aubrey Mirage Barn, and second in the 2 previous races against 6,252 lifetime claimers, as Jose Alvarez trying to get her out of second gear.
Yeah, and her lone career win came at this distance, so this should suit her well.
And I'm, number 3, going to tell Papa. No, I'm not going to tell Papa. That's the name of the horse. Going to tell Papa. It's making her Gulfstream debut. We've hit the board of 3 of 4, 2 lifetime claiming races. It was up on the Kentucky circuit during 2014. Trainer Rashawn Crique is 27% with the 61 to 180-day layoff. Hard to translate that coming off the layoff, how this horse is going to run here today.
Completely agree. That's why I had to put her in 3rd. We'll see how she takes to the surface here, and she hasn't been training here either, so this will be literally her first time over the surface. She's been training over at Gulfstream Park West.
Yeah, but, you know, if you look at her past performance, you see she certainly fits with this level of competition.
The form absolutely makes her deserving of a bet.
And we're going to go to the 7th race today, and this one is 5 furlongs on the turf. Claimers 4-year-olds and up, and this race is named for our leading owners, Ken and Sarah Ramsey. And Ken and Sarah, great people, and Ken is probably one of the most excitable guys I've ever seen. He has a lot of fun here.
He is so friendly. One thing to note, every time the Ramseys won a race this meet, no matter what type of race it was, if they were not given a trophy, they brought their own trophy and took a picture. They love their horses. They love it here, and congratulations to them. Right. Winners yet again, leading owners at the Gulfstream Championship meeting.
We do have a scratch in here of number 9, Alpha Slew. I went with the 4 here, and that is Help a Rye. This one was given some time off after pressing the pace and holding on to defeat $16,000 condition claimers right here on October 17th. Nobody is hotter than Wesley Ward with 5 furlong turf sprinters here. He's got Manuel Cruz. Haven't seen him in a while, named on the horse today. He's 20% Wesley Ward with this type of layoff. And, I got bopped in the head too many times. I got to have Wesley Ward if it's a 5 furlong turf sprinter on top of my ticket.
Absolutely. I definitely have the horse on my ticket. And the layoff really shouldn't concern you all that much with this horse, because when he won that last race, it was his first start in over a year. So he runs well off the layoff. It should not be a big deal at all, especially coming from this barn. I put the 3 dedicated to Bob on the top of my ticket. Drops down to this level from an allowance on February 12th, which he just faded to second behind the multiple graded stakes place Mongolian Saturday. Also dead heated with a pretty nice horse that I like a lot in Shadow Rock. Earned an 87 buyer for the effort, which would be tops in this field by a pretty good margin. Prior to that, he won at the $20,000 level. only off-the-board effort in his last 7 starts came in the Gin Rummy Champ Stakes at Gulfstream Park West. Even then, he was only beaten 2 lengths. Kirk Zadie won the Orange Blossom Stakes yesterday with Art Free Roll. He's 26% with horses coming off of this layoff between 31 and 60 days.
I closed it out with the 7 Private's Vow, who's dropping a notch on the claiming scale, looking to use his speed to finally notch that elusive victory over the Gulfstream turf. You wouldn't believe this. This one is an 11-time winner at the distance, but 0 for 6 on the Gulfstream Park turf. So a little bit, as we always say, a red flag. Eddie Castro riding in great form since he arrived back here, trying to break that local jinx. Can't seem to win on this turf course, but it's an 11-time winner at the distance. I find that unique. You went with the number 8 horse in here and didn't take it.
First start off the claim for trainer Jason Service, who's a pretty impressive 35% in that category. Third in his last start at this distance when running for a $20,000 tag. And the winner of that race came back to win again in his next start. 5 wins at this distance, and he does have 2 local wins over this turf course.
Well, let's go to race number 8. It's 1 mile on the turf. Maiden fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Maiden special weight conditions here. Full field of 10 runners, and maybe this is the hunch play. This race is named for our leading trainer, Todd Pletcher, and the video we want to show you about, who you have on top of your ticket, is trained by Todd Pletcher. As I always say, what do you got to get a hit in the head with a rock? Let's show that last performance of Tybalt's Queen.
Yeah, this was the debut for Tybalt's Queen, and watch the break. Completely misses it there, and then watch how wide she is going to be in this first turn. I mean, all the way out there. That is not where you want to be. You're going to see she's going to try to get some, save a little bit of ground there, but not that much. And she's going to be just as wide on the second turn. So how much farther she ran than everybody else. She's going to make a 5-wide bid into the stretch, finish 6th in her career debut. Todd Pletcher, 21% with maidens in their second start. She should relish having the rail after being so wide last time out. And as a daughter of Shakespeare, she is bred to go a mile on the grass.
And no one's luckier and actually as skilled as Todd Pletcher. And you know he's going to win the race named after him. We'll see how it works. But I went a different way. I went with the 5 Magical Empires, shortening up to a mile. Set the pace last time out, yielded late to finish second against the same level of competition, but that was going a mile and a 16. Trainer John Kimmel, Edgar Prado handling the third start of this horse's current form cycle, which I like as one of my angles. Tybalt's Queen for all the reasons we just mentioned, and I closed it out with Titty's Pearl. I had to have my kitty horse on here, and this one is stepping up to maiden special weight conditions after breaking from post 10 last time out, setting the pace. I thought finished a useful second against $75,000 maidens. Tom Albatrani, Eddie Castro, her second consecutive start from post number 10.
I went with the other kitty, and that is One Tough Kitty that I put at the bottom of my ticket, making our second career start for trainer Alan Goldberg. And you can't overlook this barn right now. They're hot, and they've had quite a few maiden special weight winners during this meet. Actually share the same percentage with Todd Pletcher, 21% with maidens making their second start. Turning a bullet work over the Palm Meadows turf course to tune up for this race. And she's a half-sister to a filly named Flashy Gal, who was stakes placed on the grass.
Well, you need a little bit of a long shot in here. My long shot of the day comes in here. It's the 4 Admiral's Gal. This horse ran pretty good third at the $45,000 level. Not that big of a jump up in class. 15-1 on the morning line. I think you got to use Admiral's Gal. If it doesn't win, you could certainly put it somewhere on the exacta trifecta ticket. Our 9th and final race on the Easter Sunday card. 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. Claim is 4 and up. Non-winners of 3 races in life. $12,500. What better way to end Easter Sunday than with a full 11-race field? And you and I are exactly in agreement. That's how easy these 11-race fields are. I got the 8 Rich Daddy on top. 4 for 5 in the money on the turf. Moved to the Antonio Sano Bonvita claim. Goes back to the grass after responding last time out with the drop in competition with a monster 11-length score against 6,252 lifetime claimers. Antonio Sano, 23% with new claims. Gabe Saez in the saddle. Lots to like about this horse, but I don't know if we got the 3 right in order, do we?
Of course we do. Of course we do. And we're going to set you right up for that nice carryover in the Super High Five today. Here are your top 3. You can go all on the bottom 2, and you'll be all set. In second, we both have Pickett's Corner. He, too, has taken a class drop after finishing third at the $16,000 level on March 26th. Prior to that, he won at the $20,000 level. I think Rich Daddy's form has been a little bit more consistent, and this one, my only concern was he hasn't gone a mile and a 16th since last November at Gulfstream Park West.
Number 4, Calico is dropping to the $12,500 level. Rallied to finish second, beating a length. That was against 16,003 lifetime claimers, but it was upstate at Tampa. Jamie Ness has Jesus Rios handle his shipper from up north, and Jamie Ness does a lot of good work with his horses shipping down here. So that is how we see the Easter Sunday card. And Katie, we got a great carryover in the Rainbow Six, which starts in race number 4 at over $500,000.
Wouldn't that be a nice thing to bring home? Stick inside an Easter egg and give it to somebody today?
It's going to have to be one big Easter egg.
Maybe a few Easter eggs, a whole basket. But you know what? That would be a great thing to bring home, and it can be done. Keep playing these cards, and don't forget another great carryover in the Super High Five as well.
We'll see you a little later on. We're going to turn it over to our track announcer, Pete Aiello, and he's going to be hopping in here with all the changes you need for today's card.
Here comes Peter Cottontail. Have a great day. Happy Easter.